I'm sure you don't wanna be one of those learners who doesn't get this thing right. So if you want to get this thing right, try to check the way I will apply them in these questions. Imagine yourself, guys, you come across something like this in a test. Some will say the question, determine the values of x for which the graph of f of x is greater than 0. First of all, you should understand the question. They say determine the values of x, meaning here your conclusion should be based on x values. But now they want you to check the x values for which g of x is greater than 0. What does this thing mean to you? Remember from those conditions that when you see a graph which is greater than 0, it means that graph is positive. So how do you see a graph is positive or negative? So let's focus on the what? On the y values. Do you see the y values? If you check the y values here, they are positive, but here they are negative. And that graph there, it is represented by the y values. Remember when I told you that f of x is the same as y value from that previous video. F of x is the same as y value. It means that f of x there, it is represented by the y value. So it means that the graph here is positive according to y values there. According to y value, that graph there is positive. Oh, sorry guys, this graph is only positive here. Do you see? But when you go down here, that graph there it's negative here. That graph here it's negative. Take note about that. Even as well as here, that graph here it's negative, because all here the y value there are negative. Do you see this thing? And also let me also indicate for also as well as g of x. G of x, guys, it's positive. Here it's positive. But when you go down here, g of x, it's negative because it is here. Do you see this thing? Yeah. So now the question it asks you, for which values of x will this graph greater than 0? Meaning this graph there, it must be what? It must be positive because it is greater than 0. So if you notice that graph between -2 and 2, that graph there, it will be positive here. All these values there, between here until there, that graph is positive. So it means there you can say between, according to x values, write your minimum and write your maximum. This is how you write something which is between, meaning which is -2 and here it's +2. Do you see? Meaning that between -2 until what? Until 2, that graph there, it will be positive there. And here, because guys, you got equal, it means here you'll put that equal here. So this one will be your final answer. What does that final answer mean? It means for all the values of x which are between -2 and +2, the graph will be positive there. Do you see this thing? Yeah. Then let me also show you this one there. Do you see this one? This one, it is referring from g of x. The g of x. For you to indicate the values of x for which g of x is less than 0, it simply says that something that is less than 0, it's something that is what? It's negative. Remember when I told you that something that is less than 0, it is the graph that is what? It is negative there. So that graph, guys, it is negative from where? If you can check according here, and when you go here, when you go on your right side, the graph g of x will be negative starting from 2 until go to that side. All that graph will become negative, negative, negative. So it means here I will say x, then guys I will go with this arrow. That arrow, guys, it is pointing on the right hand side, meaning there I will just say It's point on the right hand side, but now I'm referring to that value of 2. Do you see? And for me, no need for me to put equal there, because this question doesn't have equal, meaning this one, it's a what? It's a final answer. What does that answer mean? It means for all the values of x which are greater than 2, the graph there will be negative. Do you see? Yeah. Then what about this question there? Remember, I told you that if you see g of x, it's greater than f of x. It means that g of x, it is above g. It means that f of x, it is above g of x. Remember when I told you this thing here, if you see this graph, it's greater than that graph, it means that graph there, it is above this one. So let's go and try to check it on our diagram there. So f of x, it's above g of x. So f of x, where is f of x? F of x is this graph. It's a parabola. It's a parabola. A parabola, guys, starting from here, parabola there, it is above g of x there. If you notice that here, that graph there, it is above g of x. So it simply says that between from 0 until 2, g of x, it's above, f of x, it's above g of x. Meaning that I can say between. This is how you represent between. You write your minimum, you write your maximum. So your minimum value there, it's 0. Your maximum value, it's 2. But because, guys, here we got what? We got equal there. What does that equal mean? It means that the graph, it only touches at 2. Do you see? Those two graphs, they touches 2. They don't touch 0. 0, they don't touch that 0. So it means that no need for you to put equal for 0. You will only put it here. But for this question, they will say between -2 and 2. Between here. Because that graph, it was touching both numbers. That's why I put both equal there. So for this one, no need for you to say that. This one will be your final answer. Simul says that the values of x which are between 0 and 2, the graph of f will be greater than g of x, meaning that that graph, it will be above g of x. Do you see? Yeah. So let me also answer this one, which is, this one symbol says that g of x, it's less than 0. Something that is less than 0, guys, I told you, this thing, if this thing it's less than 0, it means this thing it's negative, because it is less than 0. So even here, I even indicated that thing that it's less than 0. Okay, this question and that one is still one and the same. These two questions is still one and the same. Yeah. So this one, no need for me to do it. Still one and the same. Yeah. So now I can do this one there. This one symbol says that these two graphs, when you multiply them, they are less than 0. When you multiply them, they are less than 0. Something that is less than 0, guys, it's something that is what? It's negative. And in order these two graphs to be negative, when you multiply them, it means that they should have different sign. Remember, when I told you that when you multiply two graphs and they are less than 0, it means that they got different sign. So let's try to check whereby both of the graphs, they got different sign. So if you can check here, this graph, guys, when you come from starting this point here, these two graphs, they still have the same sign. Even here from 0, they still have the same sign. Do you see this thing? They still have the same sign here. But now you should take note about that. This graph here from this point, that straight line, guys, it is continuing on the positive values there. That graph there, it is continuing on the positive value. and it will become positive, 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 and this one they become negative, meaning starting from here going that side, those two graphs, they will have different sign, because that one they will be positive, this one will be negative. So it simply says that here you can say x, you go with that arrow, it's less than, you say -2 there. Do you see? That is your conclusion for this question. So it means that I can come and write it down, meaning the x, I go with that arrow, meaning that it's less than -2 there. But here, because there is no equal, no need for me to put equal there, I can say this one, it's my final answer. Do you see this thing? Yeah. Then now, let me come for this one there. What here they told you that when you multiply these two graphs, they are greater than 0. Do you see this thing? When you multiply those two graphs, they are greater than 0. And I told you something, that if you multiply two graphs and they are greater than 0, it means that those two graphs, they have the same sign. Because in order for you to have that positive there, because when you multiply them and they are greater than 0, it means that they are positive. And in order for you to get that positive, they should have the same sign. So now you should be careful about this one. Let's go to the diagram. If you notice, from here, this graph are positive. They got the same sign here. Even here, they got the same sign. Even here, they got the same sign. But going there, they got different sign. Meaning that starting from here, going that side, those graphs, they will have the same sign. Meaning this is how you will conclude. They will say x, you go with that arrow, and now you started from where? From -2, -2 there. Do you see this thing? And here they put equal there. Do you see? But not both of the graphs that they include this thing. Meaning that not both of those two graphs, they touch this. It's only this one which touches here. That one doesn't touch here. So it means no need for you to put that equal there. Just leave your answer like this. If both of the graph they were touching this point, you were going to say equal there. Do you see? Something like this. Do you see this one? Both of them, they touch there. If we were concluding only this value, it means that it will be x2 equal. But now, this, it won't be a final answer, because here this graph, it also has this value, meaning that graph will start here, going that side, that will be positive. So let me also show you this one now. If they say to you, write down the axis of symmetry of f of x. Remember from that video, I told you that the axis of symmetry, all the time, they will be in this form. They will be in this format. Do you see? This is the equation of axis of symmetry. Meaning here I can say x, it's equal to 0 here. Axis of symmetry, guys, it is the line that divides a shape into two equal parts. It is the line that divides a shape into two equal parts. And now cover this one. This one symbol say to you, what is the turning point of f of x? And I told you that a turning point there, this is how you say a turning point. Something which is here, it's a y-intercept, which is also called a turning point there. Do you see? So now let's come to this equation. Let's come to the equation of a parabola there. This, something which is here, it's a turning point, just like this there. So here we got 4 there. Instead of us putting b here, here we got 4. Meaning that where there is b on this, we'll put 4. Something like this there. A turning point, it is 0 and b. But now where there is b, we'll just put 4 there. Just like this. Yeah. So this one, it's a what? it's a turning point of a graph there. It means that this thing represents a y-intercept, which is also a turning point, meaning that the point which is here, it's 0 and 4. That 0, guys, it's for x. That 4, it's for y there. Do you see? Because a point, it is represented in coordinate form, whereby you got x and y. I hope this one you got it. So guys, if you didn't manage to understand all this thing, it will be better for you to watch the next video, whereby I will be explaining according to this graph now, and I will still explain for this one. So I hope this one you managed to get some clue how to get about these things. But take notes that these notes, they will help you a lot, even as well as this one. As well as this one, they will help you a lot. Thank you for your watching. You can watch the next video by you.